Down the road, those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, because we got diesel in our veins. We got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks and just a trucking down the road.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Good morning, Jim White, Brother Dave White, Super Dave Weldon. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Great, Jam. Good morning, everybody.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You guys ready to say that pledge?
Let's do it.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making the good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything you hear on today's podcast is not the opinion of JFW's. It is just the four men in this room's expressed opinion.
Booyah.
Do you guys have any opinions this morning?
Just bad dad jokes. or good dad jokes sometimes.
I look forward to hearing those. Episode 199 had 255 downloads. By the way, today is our 200th episode. I want to talk about a milestone.
Yeah.
That's great.
Who's buying the pizza today? That's what I want to know. Total downloads is 101.2 thousand, and we have 808 followers.
Oh, that's awesome.
When's the last time one of you guys was in a Barnes & Nobles or any bookstore?
Man, Jam, realistic, it's been a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, 20 plus years, Jam. I mean, you can get whatever book you want online.
That's what I'm saying. Like Amazon, like I want a book, I order on Amazon, it's here.
Yeah.
Well, the other day, I'm like, man, I just want to go in to Barnes & Nobles. I wanted to have a coffee, but there's no way I'd ever buy a Starbucks, you know, just because they're their anti-2A
Good job.
stance. But anyway, I wanted to go in, and I've been told that I'm not very empathetic, and I just really don't understand why people feel that way. So I'm in Barnes & Nobles looking for a book on empathy, but I come across this book, and it's called How to Solve 50% of Your Problems. So I bought two of them.
Oh,
good,
my God.
Good lead.
Yeah.
Good lead.
It's time for the dad joke challenge. If you guys want to just wave the white flag, that's fine.
Great segue.
We surrender.
That was awesome.
Oh, man. Well, I'll spit mine out there. Do you know the man who invented the Ferris wheel never met the man who invented the merry-go-round?
Really?
Mm-hmm. They traveled in different circles.
I like that.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
That's funny.
Well, I have a very odd joke. It took me a minute, and I don't know. It might not even be considered a joke, but it is. So anyway, a mother passing by her daughter's bedroom was astonished to see the bed was nicely made and everything was picked up. Then she saw an envelope propped up prominently on the center of the bed. It was addressed Mom. With the worst premonition, she opened the envelope and read the letter with trembling hands. Dear Mom, it's with great regret and sorrow that I'm writing you. I had to elope with my new boyfriend because I wanted to avoid a scene with Dad and you. I've been finding real passion with Doug, and he is nice, even with all his piercings, tattoos, beard, and motorcycle clothes. But it's not only the passion, Mom. I'm pregnant, and Doug said he will be very happy. That we will be very happy. He already owns a trailer in the woods, and he has a stack of firewood for the whole winter. He wants to have many more children with me, and now that's one of my dreams too. Doug taught me that marijuana doesn't really hurt anyone, and we'll be growing it for us and trading it with all our friends for cocaine and all the ecstasy we want.
Wow.
In the meantime, we pray that science will find a cure for AIDS so that Doug can get better. He sure deserves it. Don't worry, Mom. I'm 15 years old now, and I know how to take care of myself. Someday I'm sure we'll be back to visit so you can get to know all your grandchildren. Your daughter, Judith. P.S. Mom, none of the above is true. I'm over at the neighbor's house. I just wanted to remind you that there are worse things in life than my report card that's in the center desk drawer. I love you. Call when it's safe for me to come home.
That's great.
It's pretty much a joke on perspective, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I just read that and I'm like, wow, that's different.
You didn't find that on your normal dad joke website, did you?
No.
Well, I found all these on that normal website. So when I went to the doctor recently, he said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, don't eat anything fatty? Like what? Bacon, burgers? And he said, no, fatty, don't eat anything.
Oh, damn.
And I searched a list of 10 puns to find one that made me laugh. No pun intended.
That's funny.
And last but not least, why do you never see a hippopotamus hiding in a tree?
They can't climb trees?
No, because they're very good at it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Man, Dave, you got a good dad joke site.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good delivery.
New employees, we got Edward Martinez, Scott Snyder, Victor Marquez, and Peter Rodriguez. Welcome to the fleet, man.
Welcome aboard.
Celebrations, I want to welcome back Dustin Courier. That's a celebration in itself.
That is.
Yeah. Welcome back, Dustin. Seen you this morning. Good to hear your voice.
Love him or hate him, he's back.
Well, I think it's football choices, if I remember, is what we don't like, because he didn't like the Broncos, I think.
No, he had a Ravens shirt on yesterday. Yeah.
Got some good anniversaries here. We got Valentino Hollywood Bailey, hit 1 year yesterday.
Congratulations, Tino.
And we got Tommy Trujillo hitting 2 years tomorrow.
Yeah, congratulations,
Awesome,
guys.
Tommy.
Birthdays, we got we got Mike Flat Tire Cisneros tomorrow. Dale Boyce also has a birthday tomorrow. And then Jesus Sanchez has a birthday this Friday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, guys.
Happy birthday, Mike, Dale, and Jesus.
Family birthday celebrations. We got Clint Camore's son, Darius, had a birthday on the 28th. And then Lori McCoy had a birthday on the 29th. That's
Frank's wife.
Frank's wife. Yep.
Mhm.
And then also Nicholas Lilashvili had a birthday yesterday. And that would be Georgi, or Giga, we call him.
Giga?
Giga is his nickname from Georgia.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
His son. So
Yeah.
Son.
Very cool.
Oh, very good.
shout outs. I want to give everybody, and I'm sure you guys will agree, I want to give everybody involved in launching McLeod, from the girls upstairs, Joanne, Deb, Kathy, Ann, to all the dispatchers, Linda Oswaldo and Tracy. And then also a special shout out to Fam Bam, who on his own will last night was helping people get signed up on McLeod.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
It also goes out to you too, Jam, because you're having to deal with all the PTO and all that change. And it was a big change, you guys. And I appreciate everybody jumping in. And I know there's been some grumblings, but I'm just hoping it'll be better.
Yeah, change always brings a little bit of grumblings, and, things don't work perfect, but, first line on the creed, together we face and overcome all that stands before
Yeah.
us.
Absolutely. And change is hard. And it's kind of funny, Jam, because I know the drivers are faced with it right now. You're faced with it right now. Dispatch is faced with it. I got about 30 days when I have to do all my stuff. I'm going to go, this
There's
is
going to be some grumbling.
Yep, this is either going to be really good or really bad.
Sorry, Ann. She's got to share the office.
Right.
But it was kind of cool. I mean, this change affected everyone, because not only just changing from Toro to McLeod, we had to change from Paycom to ConnectTeam, which affects the shop. It affects the wash bay.
Right.
And then just walking around here last night, there was just this buzz, discussing all the change and how to use the app and all these things. So it was kind of cool to see. Most people did it joyfully. There was a few people that weren't, but man, it's, we are officially on McLeod. There was some hiccups this morning. There are a couple drivers how to use Toro because their app, there's something wrong with the SCAC,
Gotcha.
if you know what that is.
Yeah, it just didn't work on the phone, right?
Yeah, so
weird
but
stuff. Yeah,
way
I
to
didn't know what
put,
SCAC was till yesterday, but I know now.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I know where it says SCAC and what you got to do.
That's what I know.
Don't know what that is. Apparently, that's some kind of URL or something. But Linda pivoted with no problem. Like, all right, well, we'll get it working, but we'll send you Toro just so you have something.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah, and the McLeod people, they've been very supportive. There's 3 of them here working hand in hand with all of us. Any questions, they'll be here today and all day tomorrow.
Yep.
So yeah, good support so far on their part.
Better than Paycom ever was.
Yeah,
Right.
Dave. Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to give a shout out to Efren Martinez. He is a night mechanic, and he's pretty engaged.
He is.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff. Everybody's been the wash bay and, everybody's engaged.
Yep.
It's nice to see.
I want to give a really special shout out to Tracy Holloway. Watching him deal with what I would call a tough customer being a driver, it was amazing because I could just kind of hear this guy's hitting Tracy with everything he's got, and Tracy just calm, cool, and collect. On the outside, he was probably pissed on the inside. I know he can be upset, but the way he dealt with this driver, never raised his voice, it was just like, hey, listen, you've had your time to talk. I'm going to take my time now. But I've never seen somebody so calm in that situation. Much better than I would have done. There probably would have been a click involved in my conversation.
Isn't that impressive, Jam?
Yeah.
That when you watch something like that, yeah. Tracy's got a special knack. It's fantastic. I wish I had that skill. So thank you, Tracy.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was having a tough day yesterday with McLeod.
Yeah.
He told us all this morning. He said, I was letting McLeod run me, not me run McLeod.
Yeah, they're on fire. Dispatch is on fire right now, figuring it out.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I think there was
goes to them.
a big buildup, like trying to get it to work or how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Well, now we're in there. Now we got to make it work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah. We met with a gentleman yesterday, Jam, that was just so well spoken, and it was about some political things about Commerce City, and he's just an expert on that. But
was his name Dave White?
I'm not well spoken and I'm not an expert on it.
yeah, but he was just one of those guys that remembered all the words, remembered all the names, could explain it easily to you, the whole bit.
These guys amaze me.
Yeah, it just was a great lunch, and it's not because it's a lunch. It was because that's what we did at lunch. Was get to listen to this guy and discuss things with him. And yeah, everything's rough. It's like the government shutdown right now. It's just
shout out to the government employees.
Yeah.
They don't have a job today, and I don't know when that's going to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of government employees that are having to work and not be paid.
Huh.
I'm not saying it's better, but at least the ones that aren't having to go in, that aren't being paid, they're not having to work and to not be paid.
Is Jan at home or at work today?
She is at work today, working, not being paid, Jim.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, that's part of her position.
Man, God bless her.
God bless all of them that are having to work. That's, military, that's post office, that's, I'm not even smart enough to know all the versions that are having to work, that aren't at home.
I mean, we've seen this before.
We have.
Yeah, Jim.
Not like this.
No?
This one's just a little different, I think. It's got a different buzz about it. It's got a different feel about it. So, yeah. Now, one thing I did find out, because Department of Interior is I don't know enough about it to speak about it. Janet just made the comment to me that, they were hoping they had enough funds to run like a month.
Yeah, I can't imagine the government being shut down for more than that.
Yeah, I think, was it with Obama? They shut down. It was either Obama or Clinton. They shut down for quite a while.
Really?
It was a pretty lengthy shutdown.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
And they do I mean, the good thing, but how many of us can go without a paycheck? You do get repaid
Right.
when it does start, but you still have to, I mean, unless you have 30 days in the bank, what are you going to do with your house payments, car payments? I don't know. That's what I mean. It's not
rough.
good.
Yeah, it's rough. Well, moving on to something more positive.
Right? Yeah.
And
so thoughts and prayers out for all those people.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Would you come to work if you weren't being paid, Jam? Not knowing when you were going to get paid?
Wait,
that's a whole nother.
You guys pay me for this? That's cool, man. Thanks.
That's just it's a concept for sure. When you really wrap your head around.
Yeah, I got a concept. Don't work for the government.
Well, what are they?
They're the largest, aren't they?
I think
the largest employer in the country.
Colorado, the state of Colorado employees are the largest employer in the state. But I can't say the federal government. I don't know, Dave. I have to
Chat GPT. What's that say?
have to Google that.
Come on, bud.
What do you want to know?
Who's the largest employer of United States citizens? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Largest employer in the U.S.
Who is the
Walmart.
They are in the world, I think. Yeah,
I think McDonald's still gets some
independently.
respect. Yeah. There's something else in there too.
U.S. federal government, 2.8 million civilian employees.
Wow.
There you go.
That's kind of scary.
Wow. If you're asking specifically about private companies, the largest employer is Walmart.
Yeah.
1.6 million people work there.
Wow.
2.1 million worldwide. The U.S. federal government.
So still not as big as the government employment rate in America versus Walmart worldwide.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. By 700,000.
Wow.
Here's a quick breakdown of the top few. U.S. federal government, 2.8 million. Walmart, 1.6 million in the U.S. Amazon, 1.5 million in the U.S. McDonald's, 800,000 employees. It is the mostly franchise employees. United Health Group, 400,000. So
United Health Group, huh?
Insurance company. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Speaking of insurance, did you guys see? This isn't a joke. This isn't the lead to joke. Trump started Trump RX for prescriptions yesterday.
I did read that. Yeah,
and I think it's going to be a big deal to get all your prescriptions at virtually cost.
Pfizer signed up to give them out at 50%.
Yeah,
cost.
That's just. Yeah.
Because I know you can get a lot of your prescriptions on Amazon now. I mean, Amazon has
I get emails
RX.
all the time asking me to sign up.
Yeah.
So in the state of Colorado government is the largest employer with 38,000 employees. Other major employers in Colorado, UC Health, 27,000. University of Colorado System, Anschutz.
I was going to say CU is right there.
30,000. It's bigger than UC Health. Denver Public Schools, 13,000. Centura Health, now Common Spirit, 21,000. Lockheed Martin, 10,000.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
That's why when there's a federal holiday, the roads are so much nicer.
Yeah.
Right.
No traffic jam.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Drivers doing it right this week. I like seeing new names on this list.
Yes.
It makes me happy. Frank Guccione and Lee Taylor.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
I want to just go over that right quick, and I know we probably have several times, but doing it right, it's the simplest things. Stopping before you pull on the scale, following too close. PPE, not on your phone, all that kind of stuff. And then that's just doing your job.
Yeah.
And we've circled those guys out because they're doing it all right, which is pretty easy. So thank you guys for doing that. That's awesome.
Yep. We've already talked about it, but McLeod went live this morning. So all your dispatches are coming through there, except for the two individuals we couldn't get on.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, it's supposed to help out.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then everybody that's on McLeod for the drivers, you guys, just remember that's how you're being paid, just like in Toro. So make sure somehow you get your tickets in that app. And I've ran in it several days. You get loaded, you swipe on there, you put your ton and your ticket number in there, you deliver, and you swipe that it was delivered. And at any point, I would do it all day long as I do that. Take a picture of your ticket, and send it, right after you enter the stuff in. But the most important thing is, we need you guys doing the picture, but when you get loaded, put your ticket and your tonnage in there.
Yep.
That's the one that needs to be in there.
Yep.
So
That's a really good time to be sure that you're hauling the right material.
Yep.
That you're going to the right location, that you dump in the right bin.
Yep.
I mean, we have had a lot of issues recently with dumping wrong material in wrong location, putting sand in rock in sand.
Yeah, one feature, I don't know if it's helpful or hurtful. I think it might actually, at first I was like, oh, that kind of stinks. But the commodity is not on the front screen. You can't see what you're hauling till you click into the freight section.
Gotcha.
So you have to manually go do something to look. So I'm hoping that makes people more focused. Like, oh, what am I hauling?
Good to know, John.
Boom. Oh, I'm hauling rock, not sand, So
yeah.
Hopefully that helps, not hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to mention, is going to the freight portion in that, and you could see your materials and everything. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think another thing we should make note of for everybody to hear is that you got to keep up on the ConnectTeam notifications, because they sure change. Gravel pits, you might be hauling sand out of Morton on Monday, but you're hauling sand out of Ragsdale on Tuesday, Yeah,
that's very true. I mean, I heard somebody ask, are we in
this morning?
McLeod this morning on the radio, and it's not a shot at that driver. So hopefully you listen to the podcast and you go, oh, that was me. That information was on Connect.
They were asking about Connect. Like, are we supposed to punch in on Connect now?
Yeah,
right.
Did you just wake up from a nap?
Yeah. It was
I'm just happy he checked.
Yes,
happy
absolutely. I'd rather have somebody
know?
call. And that's the perfect place, because if somebody else is missing it, he did it on the company radio.
That's
right.
Everybody heard.
So he helped other people.
Yeah, that's a 5-star review right there.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, great job.
And
Thank you.
was it on vacation, gone, first day
Yeah,
back?
first day back.
We don't know.
Definitely don't know. I'm going to skip ConnectTeam and come back to that because I just want to talk about McLeod some more. And this is from Joanne. Our first check in McLeod will be 10/13. I will be submitting payroll to the bank on Fridays now instead of Thursdays. This may change things for employees who bank deposits before our payroll date on Monday. They will no longer get settlement emails on Mondays. A check register will be emailed out on Thursdays and must be checked. Tickets, percentage, taxes, deductions, etc. So Thursdays, you got to check this. Any discrepancies need to be reported to myself or Kathy by 8 a.m. Friday. Anything after will be fixed in the next payroll. I will also send out a Connect when it gets closer. So more info to come on ConnectTeam about that.
Yeah, and please, you guys, go through your stuff. Make sure your loads are there, your taxes are correct, your deductions are correct, all of that stuff. And those are your guys' responsibility, especially the deductions and your taxes, and what you're paying. That's your livelihood. Please check that out and go through that, itemize it out, and find out what's happening.
Don't wait until April 15th and find out that they didn't take any taxes out all year.
Yeah, we've had that happen.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I just got hit with a $30,000 tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you've been rich all year. You haven't paid a single penny.
Oh, man.
ConnectTeam. Okay. As we were just saying, ConnectTeam is now being used for your time clock, but also for your time off requests and the schedule. Okay. Requesting time off is pretty simple. It's got all the same features as before. I did split up the early off and the in late. So now if you're coming in late, you mark in late. If you're leaving early, you mark leaving early.
That's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
I do like that a little bit better. But yeah, you really need to pay attention to everything in ConnectTeam. This week I've had a few people ask questions, and it's like, have you been paying attention to ConnectTeam? Because that's in there. And a lot of times the answer I get is like, well, I just get so much on there. Well, that's all the things you need to know that you're getting. So please, please, please pay attention. If you have any problems requesting time off, come see me. Hopefully you looked at your time off balance yesterday and then double checked it. You balanced in Paycom yesterday and then double checked it today. I've had 2 drivers point out a mistake that was very easy for me to fix. So I'm going to go back through after the podcast today and just double check my work to see if I find anything else. But, if you notice a discrepancy, please let me know.
Either direction.
Yes.
Could be a discrepancy. You know what I mean? We screwed up, and instead of making a mistake, and I don't want to say taking it from you, but you had 10 hours and only got 5, or you had 10 hours and now you have 30.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Please be honest both ways, because it's just a mistake we made.
Yep. All right. Anything else on McLeod and ConnectTeam from you guys?
I just want to mention on the Connect, I've had a couple, it's a great way to communicate with each other. And I've had several drivers, I don't want to say text, but message me and connect. And I always try to respond and have a conversation. So if there's any other questions, you just look the person's name up and message them.
Yep.
It's a really great platform. I mean, for us, it's a little difficult because we're having to do emails and connect. But as far as interior, person to person here on things, we use Connect, and it's quick and easy.
Yeah.
It's a good tool to use. And, for some of the new people that don't know everyone's names, you can also type in the truck number.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a win also.
Yeah, it streamlined our Saturday coverage process. You guys, none of the leaders are in this except for Dale because he was in there as a driver. But there's a Saturday coverage group chat. I mean, more people are asking for coverage than ever because it's so easy. You just get on there and like, hey, I'm looking for coverage. And then somebody says, oh, I'll cover you. And your truck numbers are there. It's already been confirmed. Then I just go look for the time off request, mention who's covering that person, and it's all documented.
That's great.
Yeah. And we had a driver actually initiate that, just started that group chat. So
fantastic.
Yeah, I thought so. All right. By the way, let me roll back. Brother Dave, did you have any shout outs today?
Everybody that's dealing with that's dealing with Sidekick.
The switch.
And McLeod,
Yeah, and McLeod. Well, I mean, Sidekick is the McLeod app. So, everybody, we got to live up to the creed, face and overcome all that stands before us and joyfully create honest value for those we serve. So,
I like it.
I'm thankful for everybody doing it right. It's appreciated.
Jim, did you have any others?
I did not. No. It was good. Thank you for asking.
Andre in the shop wants to talk about the oil change do stickers that are in the top left of your windshields. Please check those. Check your mileage. See if you're coming up for an oil change. The shop is supposed to catch that for their shorts and get it done. But if they miss yours for some reason and you don't have a sticker that's within spec, meaning you've passed that mileage, point it out to the shop, write it up, talk to the mechanic. He's also going to talk to his mechanics to pay special attention to that. But yeah, we don't want those trucks going past there.
Yeah. Every truck we have should have a sticker in the window for when the oil change is due.
Yeah. And I'd have to say too, even if that's not your truck or you've, been slip seating and you look at the sticker and it, you even have a question about it, say something to the shop, write it up. Then it'll be verified.
Yep.
I know we got like Jimmy, I know he wasn't in his truck yesterday, in a new truck, and he was cleaning it out, wiping the windows, doing all that stuff. And I'm sure he checked the sticker and stuff. So, it's a group effort.
Yep.
Takes a village.
Oh yeah. Deb Smith, she's contributed to the podcast this week. Thank you for that, Deb. She wanted to note that A1 chip seal scale tickets have gotten smaller and they no longer have the JFW truck numbers printed on them. So please write your truck numbers on the tickets to ensure your loads are tracked and paid. Pretty important that we know who hold that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a weird change.
Right?
Yep.
To eliminate the truck number on the ticket, huh?
It seems like a recipe for disaster, but
I wonder if they're just using the printout from the loader and not, not
it's a little, it looks like a receipt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's probably just right from the loader.
I know their scale is unmanned up there, Dave, so maybe it was too difficult for them to put truck numbers in. I mean, how are they dealing with tear weights?
They were down. I know the scale was down for a little bit. But
right. Yeah.
Tear weights, schmear weights. We need those.
Might still be down because before they had a scale, we would just use the weight from the loader.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But there's and I know Toro would have covered it too, but here in McLeod on your driver app there, you take a picture of that ticket, and that ticket's going to be attached to that load. And then whether your truck number's on there or not, as long as you've entered the ticket number and your weight, you're getting paid and it's in the system. So it's important to use that part of it. And Deb's still right. Write your truck number on that ticket. But if you attach that ticket to the one you were dispatched on, you'll be well covered.
Nice.
Yeah. Never can have too much information, huh?
No, not at all.
That solves a lot of problems when you have information.
Oh, yeah. Here's a piece of information that's very important. Linda wants to point out, if you tear off a mud flap, you must recover the mud flap. Let the plant know and dispatch know. Never leave without reporting. So basically, when you're sweeping your tailgate off and you notice that you're missing a mud flap, where is it? Because if it's in that pile and it goes down into the grizzly, you could cause a massive amount of damage really quick without anybody knowing about it. When I say a lot of damage, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Because it could stick the gate open in the grizzly, blend the rock and sand, run it right up into the silo. So if you're putting rock and sand in the sand silo or rock and sand in either silo that's designed for one or the other, not both, we've got a whole contaminated silo. So yeah, it's a major, major deal. If you tear a mud flap off in the pile when you're dumping at a plant, you have to recover it. It is, you think it's nothing and it's a big deal. I don't know how to make it a bigger deal. So
let the loader know. If you don't see it sticking out of the pile, let the loader know. He could come over there, scoop it out.
Yep.
Kind of fish for it. Together.
Yeah, you got to dig through that. That loader's got to dig through that pile so it doesn't go in that grizzly. We got a problem if it goes in that grizzly.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. The other thing, you guys, is you should never tear a mud flap off.
That part.
That shouldn't.
Yeah.
Just shouldn't happen.
Right.
I mean, it's either you've backed into the pile and pinched it and tore it off, or the trailer's rolled back and grabbed it and
or you let it rip and didn't fix it.
But still, how did it get ripped, Dave?
They do dry rot, Jim. They do, but that's what you're looking at when you're cleaning your tailgate off is like, oh, that's going to rip. I better replace it or cut it off.
Yeah, and usually those guys know because they've had that mud flap on there for years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when the only time you should just dump where you don't end up pulling your trailer towards you to take some of the pressure off those mud flaps is in a grizzly.
Yeah.
Other than that, go up once that material starts coming out, you see it on both sides, start pulling that trailer towards you because that's what's doing it. A lot of times is you're just putting too much pressure on those mud flaps in the pile.
Yeah, they still get pulled off. You backed in somehow to hook them to the gate now or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like the old days when we had conveyor belting on there, Jim.
Yeah.
I remember backing up on top of them and you're like, gee, my trailer won't go up any higher. It's because you're on your mud flaps and they still didn't rip.
A couple of them ripped the aluminum, not the
wow.
the
right?
mud flaps.
Yeah.
Belting is badass with all the doors.
It is.
You guys got anything you want to talk about? Otherwise, I figured we'd try Zach Tharp again today.
I do. I want to also mention not deadheading the cylinders when we dump.
I missed that.
And, that's per the shop. And just so everyone understands what deadheading the cylinder means, when you're dumping and you're looking out the back window and you see that cylinder go from a large cylinder to a little smaller and a little smaller and a little smaller. Geez, I can barely speak. Each one of those is a section. When it gets to the end of the sections and stops, that's deadheading. And you can look out that back window and tell when you're about to deadhead the cylinder. Just stop. It doesn't need to go up and deadhead every time you dump, especially at these plants. When you're backed up in the grizzly, it's pretty level. With the liners this time of year, you don't need to go up all the way. So please get in the habit of not letting that cylinder deadhead, because what that does is once it deadheads, that pump is still pumping at well over 2,000 PSI, and it puts all that pressure on that hose. And we tend to blow a lot of hoses. If you hear someone call in, they got the trailer all the way up. I just got dumped and the hose blew. Well, that's because it stopped and there is nowhere for the pressure to go. It can't raise that cylinder up anymore. So that is the maximum amount of pressure time after time after time put on that hose.
Right.
And there's no way to fix that. You can't do away with that. That's something as a driver, we're going to ask you to do. Don't deadhead that cylinder every single load. It's not good on the system. Even though that's how it's made, it's still counting on you as a human being to protect it.
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Bennett, he had a great question because he heard Mikey on the radio tell the driver not to go all the way up.
Uh-huh.
So he asked me, he's like, so we don't have to go all the way up? And it's like, you could go almost all the way up and get the same effect as
Yes.
going all the way up.
Yes.
I was like, you could probably just go to stage 4, set your brakes, go out, and look in the back of your trailer so you could get a visual of how much has actually got out at that 4th stage.
Right.
So,
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, I know it's in Armando's tips and tricks, but I think we need to talk a little bit about when the scales are out, the portable scales are
Let's
out.
do it.
I don't see it anyplace else except for doing your gauges. But you guys, we had 4 people get overweight tickets last week, and 3 of the people were notified by dispatch, told that the scales were there, and they still went and overweight through that area. And none of them got a ticket for overgross, so they were all under 80,000, but every one of them got a ticket for being over axle. And I was in the meeting with 2 of the gentlemen, the drivers, and both of them said that their gauges told them they were overweight. If dispatch calls you or you think the scales are there or somebody tells you the scales are there, you have several things you can do, I guess. But first, you got to make sure you're under gross and axle legal. If you are not that, do not go through there.
Right.
Or if you're still at the port or pit, sorry, not port, pit. If you're still at the pit, you've gotten loaded that way, you're over, dump and reload. But if you
Trim or,
trim, what
get legal. Whatever that takes, get legal.
get legal. You got to get legal. But that's gross and axle, you guys.
What's
then
the axle maximum for tandem axle?
36,000 super.
36,000, everybody.
36,000.
Yep.
And Armando coming up, really goes over that. But the thing is we called you, we told you, and 3 drivers still got pulled over and pulled in. And one of the tickets was pretty large, more than I would want to pay. And then that's also a safety violation. You lose your bonus.
Mhm.
And we're taking your bonus because we're trying to make it impactful. We're supposed to trying to make it dramatic. We're supposed to make it so it really hurts you, so you pay attention. And, one of the drivers I talked to that got the ticket, he was like, "Oh, I was just occupied with something else." You can't be occupied with something else and do a good job driving a truck. It just can't happen. And in this instant, it cost him the ticket, cost him his safety bonus, and all that. And that's the tragedy, that happens. And yeah, just, I mentioned I'm going to use this analogy, and maybe it's poor and maybe some of you will be upset by it, but I asked the guys, I said, have they ever been called stupid? And, they both looked at me and said, yeah, everybody's been called stupid. And I told them, I said, but the thing is I don't think you're stupid. I don't believe you're stupid. I would never call you stupid. But basically the portables, the state patrol, Wheat Ridge, whoever, Westminster, they're counting on you to be stupid and not know how to axle and gross weigh your truck out. They're counting on you not doing your job. So why give them the satisfaction of catching you? Why give them that? Why prove to them that they can catch you, that they're absolutely right? Because they're making money. That's all they're doing. And I asked all 3 of those guys, I said, did you get safety inspected? Nope. Just weighed.
Money grab.
Yep.
But they're right. You were illegal. You were overweight. And I don't know how to make it any clearer. And please, if you are unsure, you do 2 things. Call one of us and have a discussion, which would be great.
Check.
The other thing is just go the hell around. Don't go in that area.
And it's really easy to go around when they set up at I-70 in Kipling.
Yes.
Just jog over to 6th Avenue and buzz right down into town on 6th Avenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a parallel road.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the one driver, he left the pit that way. I mean, he knew he was loaded that way and still went down through there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's happened to me before where I've been like, oh, shoot, I didn't check my axles. And then you just say, okay, well, I'll go a different way.
Exactly, Dave.
It doesn't cost anything, no time, really, anything. You just have to.
Not from sitting there, Dave, because the one driver said he lost 2 loads.
Oh, yeah, at the port. Yeah, or at the portables. But here's the deal, too. It's not being stupid, really. I think it's people just not paying attention in the moment. You can drive down the highway and daydream or listen to some music and stuff, but when you're getting loaded, you got to pay attention.
Yeah.
When you go ahead.
You can't be distracted.
No matter, whether, and I just tried to get their attention by saying stupid, Dave, because
that's what the cops think.
That's what the cop
point you're driving.
And they also think that you were distracted, right? You're not paying attention to your job. The cops know that.
Yeah, they do.
And they're counting on
all
that.
day long.
And, and the one driver said, well, they're my adversary. I'm like, yes, don't let them beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the cops think about us. They're just going off of statistics. We set up portables here. We're going to get 4 JFW trucks.
Yeah.
And we're not going to, they proved it last week.
Yeah. We're not going to do safety inspections because statistically their equipment's in order. We're not going to waste our time with that, but we know they're going to come through here. Imagine if they pulled in 15 JFW trucks and none of them were overweight.
Right.
We would now have a reputation of, maybe this is a waste of time with these JFW
Exactly.
trucks.
Absolutely, Jam.
Yeah.
But we don't now.
No.
So what are they going to be looking for the next time they set up an I-70?
Red trucks.
Every single one of them.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
And we don't tell you to go around originally. We're telling you now to go around, but you shouldn't have to go around. Right. That's the point. We should be able to go right through there and be axle legal, gross legal, be safe, everything. Other companies have to go around because they are not safe.
Right. The other thing is we give you this tool called load gauges. I heard you mention if you did an axle out, well, if your load gauges are calibrated, you don't really need to axle out because you got your weights right there.
Yep.
The drivers that got tickets, all 3 of them that I spoke to, I asked them all, what did your load gauge say? And they all said that they were over it. They gave me the number, which was over axle.
Yeah. Which was pretty much what the cops weighed.
Yeah.
They were calibrated.
Oh, my gauge said 37.8. Well, why'd you go through? It was a bad decision.
Yep. Got a ticket for 37.5.
One driver didn't understand that being a few hundred pounds over is not good.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't think, a couple 100 pounds, they would care about that.
Yeah. I was under gross. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the importance.
Do you get a speeding ticket at 10 or 5 miles an hour over? Yeah, you
Still
do.
Can,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the importance of this podcast, so we can dispel those thoughts, those rumors. And we asked the driver, have you been listening to the podcast? The answer was no. Here is all the knowledge, you guys. And we're thank you for everybody that listens. And here's the same thing. I'm sure, our superstars out there, I don't need to explain to you that our axles need to be 36,000, right? It just doesn't happen. But for the newer guys or the guys that don't understand, ask somebody, call somebody, or in doubt, go around.
This is one of those subjects that we talk about all the time, that how did this happen? Because that's not what you were taught.
Mm-mm.
And Jam, you've brought that up for the last 2 weeks. How did we get here? Because that is not what you were taught.
Who showed you that?
When we were training, this is what we did, right? But now that we're not training, this isn't what we're doing.
Honestly, it reminds me of my personal training days, where all of a sudden you go in the gym and your client's doing something really weird, and you're like, who showed you that? Like, that's not how we do it. You're going to hurt.
After you've showed them.
Yeah. You're going to hurt yourself like that, or.
Well, that's the same thing. I know Oswaldo he just happened to be the dispatcher that took it on. He called everybody in that route.
Right.
Personally called them. So the same thing as your personal training, you personally have showed them how to do the exercise, and they show up going, I'm going to do it with one leg in the air or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's Oswaldo was upset, and he really has the right to be, because he cared for everybody he called.
He took the time out. He put the energy in. He put the emotion in.
Yes.
To making sure you had the tools to do it right.
Yeah. Yeah, tough thing. And man, we really should have been that company that ran, 15 loads through there that was all legal. Because like Jim just said, absolutely the state patrol would go, that's a waste of time. Do not pull a JFW truck over.
Yeah, we had that one, what was he, Thornton or Adams? No, it was Adams County Sheriff pulled over one of our drivers who's no longer here. She was like 20,000 pounds over,
Mm-hmm.
right? She got a $9,000 ticket. And when I talked to him, I was like, well, how did you pick us? And he said, well, I could tell, just looking at your trailer tires, how much trailer tire was on the road. What do you call it, Brother Dave?
When the sidewalls flex.
No, but the amount of the tire that
Contact.
Yeah.
yeah, like it was just looked bigger than it should.
Right.
And he's like, and you guys have a reputation for running heavy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a reputation for running heavy is what he told me.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing, though, I want to throw out there about that ticket, though, that driver was on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't need to be. Could have been off on the secondary and been legal.
Yep.
But a shortcut, not paying attention.
Yep.
Hey, and then one more thing. I know we are on the soapbox, same thing we do. It is not the loader's job, you guys, to get you legal. And I heard also that the loader didn't listen to me. He loaded it all in the back, or he did this, or he did that. Either make sure the loader operator's listening, try to do that politely, or if the load didn't turn out that way, dump or trim. Or what else could you do? Go around.
Good.
Don't go through there.
Yep.
But it's not the loader operator. For the one guy, the one driver that told me, oh, I was distracted by something else. I wasn't paying attention. And he's upset with the loader operator because he didn't listen to me. What if the loader operator looked at you and goes, oh, I was distracted doing something else while I was loading with you. I had something else on my mind.
Right.
That's happened to me.
What?
When Doyle put 2 buckets right on the back of my trailer.
I had the same thing. He told me remember, Dave? I got lost in my tracks.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, it's spilling off my sides. How do you get lost in your tracks? But if that excuse works for the driver, why doesn't it work for the loader operator? I was distracted.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about this, but you can't ask for an axle legal load. It means nothing to the loader operator.
Yeah, you need to tell him where you need the material.
Yeah. And usually heavy to the front's going to be the way to go.
Exactly. Yep. For sure. I do want to emphasize, of those 4 tickets that we got, I thought it was wonderful. We were under 80,000 on all 4 of them.
Absolutely.
I thought that was fabulous.
Absolutely. That part's great.
We just need to make that next step and be axle legal, especially when you're called and asked to be,
right.
And maybe we take ownership of that and say, hey, we called them and we said, hey, you need to be under 80,000 and you need to be under 36. Maybe we need to add the part, or if you're not, you need to go around.
Yeah.
Maybe we have some ownership in that if we need to get that technical, so we're not placing blame. But also I want to mention that first ticket that we got that we found out the scales were there. It was Jimmy V. Kudos to him. It was a Coors load. He was under 80,000. I totally believe he was axle legal because the Coors grain moves. It's wet.
Yeah.
And I think he was only 100 or 200 pounds over.
Yeah, he was barely over that, which was
barely
kind of a shitty ticket.
It kind of was, but we were over and it's a ticket, so kudos to him, and he alerted everyone the scales were there. So
yeah, and that should have been 1, not 4.
Right,
Dave?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, and therein lies the frustration. So yeah, a little bit frustrating there because Jimmy let everyone know we shouldn't have had another ticket the rest of the day.
Yeah, and everybody, I heard it up at A1 Chip Seal. You can't just go, I want 25 tons, and there still seems to be a confusion. You can't just put 25 tons on
and be legal
and be axle legal.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where that 25 tons went. You will probably be under 80,000.
Yep.
More than likely. Or
unless you're in a rock trailer, guaranteed.
Guaranteed, right? Yep. But you may not be axle legal.
You could be 39,000 pounds on your trailer, depending on where the loader put it. So you need to load to the front.
Yep.
Just like Jam said.
Yeah,
so
learn your skill. We're here for you. And I know for a fact, nobody's ever called and goes, hey, I know I've had all this training. I've done all this. what's axle legal? We would help.
Absolutely.
Nobody's made fun of you. Nobody's laughed at you. That's never happened here because we want to make you better.
What's our job here?
Driver support.
Support the drivers. Absolutely. Here we are helping, trying to educate. We want you. We need you to be successful.
Yep.
Very true. Well, guys, you want to give Zach Tharp a call?
Yeah,
Let's do
absolutely.
it.
While I'm calling him, you guys want to think of a backup?
He's going to answer, Jam. We're safe.
This is week 3 with Zach, isn't it?
Well, we didn't try
2.
last week.
Oh,
2.
right.
James Koger answered last week. We didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
He also sent a nice message thanking us this morning.
Oh, that's great. Shout out to James.
All loads in Farmington, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Womp, womp. We just write down this time and get it fixed up.
It's called Dustin, courier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Shiner.
Yeah.
So,
well,
you guys good?
yeah.
Shiner.
Giving
Shiner a call?
Did we not call him once? No. Call him again.
I don't think so.
He could do the safety topic while we're on the phone.
Mr. Jam, good morning.
Good morning, Shiner. You are live on a recorded podcast.
What's up, fellas? Good morning.
Morning, buddy.
Morning, Dustin.
You have been selected to be our JFW mini interview. You got your hazards on? Where you at?
I'm backing away from the shop.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe you ought to run upstairs.
You could have come
I
in.
can run upstairs if you want me to.
It's
It's
okay.
all right. Maybe just turn your hazards off.
All right, we're leaving now.
Sweet.
Man.
Dustin, how long have you been driving for?
Oh, legally since 2014.
How about illegally?
Since 2012.
Gotcha.
Mm.
What was illegal? Tell me. Just you didn't have a CDL?
I didn't have a CDL, and I was working for a guy that did not care, and I was running lowboy out from Kersey to New Raymer without a CDL.
Isn't that crazy that somebody would actually hire someone to drive a big truck without a license? That's insane. Now, did that guy not care about his equipment either? Did he care about brakes and stuff like that, or
No, he didn't care.
he didn't care about anything? Huh.
Nope, didn't do oil changes, didn't do anything.
Wonder if he's still in business.
Yeah, it's now Fortress.
Fortress. Wow.
Huh.
Let me write that name down. Don't go work there.
Nope, do not go to work.
Bet they have some problems.
Huh. What's your favorite thing about driving, Dustin?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Crazy things, traffic and idiots, motorcycles lately.
That's your favorite thing?
That's the favorite?
No, favorite thing is I used to love running coast to coast. So
Okay. What's your favorite thing about not running coast to coast?
I get to go home and see my kids and my wife.
That's important.
Nice.
There's a
That
good
is
one.
important.
Now, you were out. How long were you out for?
Anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months at a time.
Okay. How long were you out with your shoulder injury?
Shoulder injury, exactly 12 weeks.
12 weeks. And you just came back. What was Monday your first day back?
Monday was my first day back.
How's it feel?
It's sore, but it feels good to be back.
Good.
Awesome. What do you do in your free time?
Well, kids and baseball and softball and volleyball and band and orchestra. So not a lot of time for free time.
Yeah.
Anything I do is either that or I might be able to get to the racetrack every now and again.
Yep. I know you are a dedicated father and husband, so your family is lucky to have you. If you, yeah.
I'm not sure my wife would agree with me after
Yeah.
12 weeks sitting at the house. But
They don't know it yet, but they're happy to have you.
Yep.
Thankful.
If you were the host of this podcast, Dustin, what's one thing you would like to address?
I feel like it's beating a dead horse, but sweeping out. I've noticed since I've been back, a lot of guys are not sweeping out.
Okay.
They just dump that last load and go. They don't care what they got in their trailer. You know, Young Ranch can be muddy at times. So you don't want that mixed with salt. And have to haul all that salt back and lose the load and lose the money on that. That's not beneficial to the house. So that drives me nuts.
I appreciate you bringing that up. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be and why?
I think parenting would be a good thing. Having 4 daughters and 2 boys, I get it all, between boyfriends and girlfriends and all that fun stuff. You never know how they're going to live their life. You try to raise them the best way you can, but when they hit 18, which my oldest will be 18 next August, she's kind of, hopefully she's raised right and get it done.
Love that.
That's when you kick him to the curb and say you're on your own, man.
Well, she graduates in December, so she's doing good. And she wants to be a mechanic or a barber.
Huh.
Unique, 2 separate, definitely directions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dustin, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you in public?
In public, we were racing up in Cheyenne, and the Hooters girls were there, got out of the car, and the one girl grabbed me and stuck me in her chest in front of the whole crowd.
Huh? There you go. That's funny.
I was like 13 at the time.
Oh, wow. That changed the direction of your life forever.
Yeah. Not going to Hooters.
That's funny. Dustin, you mentioned for the safety topic of the week this week, we were going to talk about shoveling out trailers. You already mentioned sweeping out trailers. With the winter around the corner, what's your safety topic about shoveling out trailers?
Let's make sure to use 3 points of contact in the trailer at all times with snow and ice in it.
Okay.
Slip and falls are not fun in the first place. And then you think about hitting your head and, the injuries you can get after the fall. It could be really bad and you could be out for a long, long time. So,
yep. We had 2 bad ones here last year. One guy basically popped the lung and the other guy popped the skull. So long-term injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, do not stick your fingers where you wouldn't stick anything else in your body. So
that's very
pinch
good.
points do not feel good when you get them in there. So that goes for equipment too, for the snow crew.
How do you make 3 points of contact in a trailer while you're trying to sweep it out?
Me, I keep one hand on that rub rail or slide rail, whatever you want to call it, on the top of the trailer.
Top rail, yep.
Yeah.
Side rail.
And just keep on. If it's really icy, you might want to grab maybe the tarp wire just in case, where you feel more secure, but always keep something on the top edge of that trailer where you do not go down.
I like it.
Snow cleats, ice cleats, or those little chain things you can put on your sneakers or boots, put them on.
Yeah. Yep, they're helpful.
That's a great idea.
Except when that piece of ice breaks out from underneath you. You're still going for a ride.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin. Well, we appreciate your call. Know you're headed back out to haul some loads. Have a good, safe day out there, man. God bless.
God bless you guys.
Thanks, Dustin.
Thanks, Dustin.
Good old Shiner.
Yeah.
Man, I was coming back from my little hunt trip the other day, coming up 270, headed westbound. I was so proud to look over and be able to point out the new building to my buddy Josiah that was riding with me, because I thought I was just going to show him a crane sticking up. And then I was just like, well, there's a whole building. Look at that. Any good Yard 23 updates, guys?
Yeah, still just on a record pace, I think, Jam, from as many times as it stalled and then where we're at now. Yesterday, they hung the first part of the roof decking as far as they could, because they're going to work in that area and roof it so they can start on the second floor and really concentrate on the offices and stuff. And then, I mean, we know for a fact they're forming the last panel for the walls today and tomorrow. They pour it Friday. Then the crane shows up Tuesday and puts every wall up.
Wow.
The building will be complete Tuesday, which is exciting.
Which is with 4-day-old mud.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hesitant in claiming it, but I'm hopeful it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean, Jim?
I mean,
like,
I think they,
like Tuesday morning, they're like, wait a minute, we did some breaks and we need to wait one more day. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
So far, everything they've said, I mean, they worked the day after that rainstorm.
They worked in the mud.
Blew me away.
Mud, yeah.
Blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was, I don't know, there's always grumbling, and you try to address, and we always try to have some transparency here. And we've talked a lot about the building and how exciting it is and stuff like that. And there was some grumblings that, all we care about is that building over there. And, that is so far from the truth. We're excited to have the building so that we can be together. It'll be better for the mechanics. It'll be better for the wash guys. It'll be better for the office people, the safety people. It'll be better for the drivers. It'll be easier to fuel, quicker to fuel. We'll be under one roof. The parking will be bigger and safer. And, you'll be able to scale out the preloads. If you have any questions about loads, that'll all be automatic on the scale. The wash bays there's 2 wash bays there that will be enclosed and heated and pull-throughs, and that'll be great for, a clean truck. That's better for the wash guys and you driving your truck. There's just so much plus. We won't be plugging up the street here like we do in the afternoons. We have a whole street that we own to pull in and out. And who doesn't like to come to not that this place isn't very nice looking, but Yard 23, it's just pieced together. It's a couple of shacks. Who doesn't want to come to a nice looking place to go to work, to start their day out in some place clean and beautiful, and all that? There's so much. This is the next step in JFW. It's not all we think about. And we've mentioned it several times on the podcast. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to build a place like that. We know that. And it's on the backs of great people. Whether you're here, 1 month or 5 years or 15 years, you've contributed to JFW some way and somehow. And it's fabulous that we can build that building and have it for all of us. We're excited about it. And sorry if that's all we talk about, but it's a big deal, and it has to be done right. We can't misstep this. It's like ordering a truck. We try to do the best we can in ordering the truck that is the best for everybody, our customer, you, us, everything. So yeah, it's exciting. And, like we said, my best date was that we'd like to move in there next September. If they keep up the pace, we'll be in there before that. And there would be nothing like being together. That's in every line of the creed. It's what we believe in. So, yeah.
Just like you said, Jim, getting over there, it's going to be so much better for everyone. I mean, to have 8 to 9 fuel bays to fuel the trucks in, you know what I mean? It's just going to be marvelous. I look at, the guys we have working in the shop over there, and I feel bad because we modified that old shop that they had because they really only had tandems. You know what I mean? They did have the one belly dump, but they could separate it, pull the trailer in or put the tractor in, not both. We knocked out one wall in between and cut a hole in the wall at the other end just to get trailers in, trucks and trailers in one. And we have to have short stacks and all of that. And I mean, Jim, we grew up in a shop like that.
We did.
Right? You know what I mean? That's the old shop on York. It barely had electricity. That was it.
Man, when you're talking about being under one roof and how nice it's going to be, and man, I was just thinking for myself, right, what it took to get there. Just like the last 7 years, like the additional 40 trucks and all the, the good things that happened and the bad things and all the life that happened. And then I thought about you guys, like, man, 40 something,
right,
like
Jim?
What did it take to get there, and it's like a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, good times, bad times, laughters, tears. Like there's a lot going into this, man.
I mean, no one will know the personal sacrifice we're making
right.
to do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's our choice. I'm not upset about it. I'm thrilled for it. I'm thankful we're getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
Blessed.
Yeah,
blessed to have this opportunity. And it's just a stepping stone again.
Right.
It's the next step.
Yeah, and with
You know?
again, without the great people we have here currently and in the past, we wouldn't be here.
Yep.
It just it's taken a lot of people.
This makes it better for everyone.
It does.
It's not better
It
for
does.
us. Of course, it's better for us. It's better for everyone.
Yeah.
It makes us better and stronger in every position. It's better for dispatch. It's better for the safety team. It's better for the shop. It's better for the drivers, but some people may not have the capacity to see that.
Sure.
And they're going to badmouth it. So be it. There's always people that aren't the warriors in the arena. They're the spectators watching, So
Yeah.
and that is what it is.
You just hate me because you ain't me.
Yeah, we talked briefly yesterday, looking at the entrance because Mikey came over and we were, looking up at the trusses or rafters, whatever you want to call them. And, we both talked as the entrance into the building, we need to put up a little tribute to mom and dad, our grandparents and stuff like that. And that originated. And like everybody knows, we celebrated 90 years in July there. And me and Dave have one picture, and both me and Dave, you remember characteristics about your parents or your grandparents. We can't ever remember a time our grandpa didn't have a toothpick in his mouth. It was like his thing. And
I got to interrupt you. I want you to finish. So I hope I don't sidetrack you, but you think that's something that you know of a man that you didn't even really know until he was 70 years of age.
Yeah.
Right, Jim?
Yeah. Yeah. You just don't.
So sorry.
You just don't. Yeah. You don't.
Put that in it. When we knew him, he was 70 plus years of age or had a relationship.
He was our grandpa.
Yeah,
Right.
You didn't know him when he was 20 or 30.
No. And we have this picture in I don't even know, a 1930s, 1940s truck cab. You can see the cab, and he's young. He's a young man, and you
Very robust.
Yeah, very robust. He's a badass.
Yeah.
Toothpick in his mouth, with our mom, Evelyn, leaned over his shoulder, looking out the window with this grin that's just like, it lights up the world,
That's
and
sweet.
you just think there's all those years to get to this place,
Yeah.
and yeah, you just,
Yeah, really, Jim, you have to think that picture had to be in the 40s, late 40s, maybe 50, 51.
Yeah.
Because if mom was born in 39, she looks 10 in that photo.
yeah, I mean, I'd go 40s. I'd pick 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts us at 80 years.
You guys gonna hang that picture up? And
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was one of we'll pull out. Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the, what would be a good word? Because you hear the guys on Saturday call in, and I have my son riding with me. I have my daughter riding with me.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, one of the guys had their mom riding with them. That's the picture.
Right.
That is JFW. I've seen that picture. When they say they have their son or daughter riding with them, that's the picture.
Yeah.
And that's something that's special. You can't get past that. And that's generational. Even if, as a driver here and you have your son or daughter with you, those are the days.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of weird. I think pictures are cooler than movies or videos, just because that's one moment.
One moment.
It's a snapshot of time.
Yeah,
isn't it,
and
Dave?
the video is sure maybe the kids playing with the dog in the backyard and stuff, but it's a little bit distracting, kind of. Am I making sense
No,
here?
Dave, I've never thought of it, but you are spot on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
that
we
picture,
have,
man.
Yeah.
Well, it also leaves a little imagination.
Yes.
True.
'Cause
Yes.
What were they doing? Or if you were there,
What kind of day was it?
oh, I remember that. I remember that picture
Oh,
before and after. You visualize video. You're capturing everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In that spot. Yeah. Because honestly, Super Dave, when you said you like pictures, I have a picture frame playing at the house, and I've talked about it on the podcast. And obviously, it's got a lot of mom and dad on it. And I told Dave the other day, man, it's been rough the last month seeing the pictures. Because it's all the time, Dave. It's not like a picture in your bedroom. It's in the front room. I'm in the kitchen. It's playing. I'm sitting on the couch. It's playing. And I'm like, I'm struggling with all the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because it's just memories. That's all. That's my
Mhm.
struggle. But yeah, no, so back to the deal. We're excited, you guys, but it is not what we're concentrating in on. It is not our only thing. You guys are. We wouldn't have this podcast.
Yeah. It's funny. said something to one of my interviews. I think it was on Monday. And we were walking across the yard and there was a couple trucks pulled up in front of the shop. We were talking about the job. And I just looked at him. I said, we haul loads. That's what we're all about. And I said, sometimes we'll haul 500 loads a day or even up to 10,000 loads in a month. And he just kind of looked at me like freaked out a little bit. But that's what we're all about, you guys. We're all about hauling loads. And we do it really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We do it really well. Absolutely, Super Dave. Yeah. Yeah, I think even the McLeod people, the new dispatching, are blown away about the loads we move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to the over the road.
Yeah.
All right. Get into some tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Armando the Sergeant.
Yep. Tips and tricks.
I got to interrupt you. Just obviously we're spending some time over there. Yesterday I was in the loader loading up some more rubble. I did some Saturday, and you mentioned about like mom and grandpa riding in the truck together, Jim. Saturday when I was loading them, Emilio was one of the trucks, 0045, and he had little Emilio with him.
Oh,
and it was because I could see through the back window somebody bouncing around in the passenger seat. I was like, "You got somebody with you?" He's like, "Yeah, little Emilio." And I was like, "You talked to him on the CB," and I don't know. I just wanted to say there is something special about that, Jim. But to what I was interrupting you about, Jam, I kind of had to laugh because, there is some inconveniences over there at Yard 23. Obviously, we had to move the fuel island, but obviously we've got two companies in there working now. We have the Tilt Up company that are trying to build forms on the floor, and now that we have to keep pushing this schedule to get the building done faster than as fast as it can be done, the steel team is over there, right? So they've left one wall opening off of the floor specifically so the steel team can get in there and work. Kind of funny. I keep thinking SEAL team when I say, instead of steel team. But anyway, so unfortunately on Monday, they moved a bunch of steel beams around and we wound up screwing up the west fuel bay. And basically made it unusable unless you backed in
or backed out
and pulled out.
Yeah.
Right. You had to back in fuel and pull out because I'm going to say but it's us. We clogged it up and we asked them, "Hey, are you going to have this moved on Monday?" And they're like, "Yeah, the steel team will be here Tuesday." Well, we assumed those were the beams they were installing. They just moved them and put them in our way. Right. So we couldn't use it. So anyway, I'm over there loading a load of rubble yesterday on Showtime, and Sarge showed up and he started to need to get fuel, and Todd Dull was there, and Todd said, "Hey, Sergeant, if you just back in, you can get fuel." And he said, "That can be your next tips and tricks is how to back in and get fuel on the West Bay." So anyway, that was a long story to get there, but I found it funny. You know what I mean?
That is funny.
Because it was funny. Todd Dull showed up. He looked, somebody was on the east side, and he just immediately adapted, improvised, and he did exactly what our creed says. Together, he faced and overcome all that stood before him. And he was like, "Well, I can't pull in there and get fuel, but I'll back in and get fuel.
Sure.
Not a big deal."
Yeah.
And then joyfully created value out of it, and teased, Sarge about, "Hey, dude, that could be your next tips and trick." I don't know, man. I get such pleasure out of that. It's very cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be the guy that you see those things and you take them on and you're on the high road and it's just not a problem. Or man, you can be the other end of that spectrum and
now I got to back.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yep.
there you have it. It was a pleasure. Those two guys, just listening to them on the CB, it was fun. I got a kick out of it. I thought it was great. So
Love
Sarge and Todd, thanks guys.
Good
You
stuff,
guys are great guys.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Tips and tricks with Armando the Sergeant Del Val. Number 22, calibration and reading gauges. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week of Tips and Tricks. Please remember the purpose of these tips and tricks are just to provide ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. Drivers, it's your responsibility to look at your weight at all times. Never assume that the loader is going to load you exactly what you asked for. This is why it's very important to know how to use, read, and calibrate your gauges. If you don't know how to do any of these, please ask for help. I can tell you that anyone and everyone here is willing to show you the way. Also, know which gauge is your front and which is your rear. Don't assume that the left gauge or top gauge is your front axle. That's a good tip right there. I was in a truck the other day. They were reversed. Good way to find out is either to pull your trailer gate valve out and see which gauge is going down. The one that drops down is your rear gauge. If you release your airbags from inside your cab, look at the gauges to see which one drops. That one that drops would be your front gauge. So this is just going to be my opinion, but I feel like it's better to get 25 tons rather than 26 when you're getting axle legal. With 26 tons, there's a chance that the loader could load you 26.5 tons, and that might put you over 80,000. Now you can trim off, of course, if you're overweight on the scale, but like A1 scale not working or getting loaded at a pit with no scale, and you got to use your gauges, you can still be over 80,000s with both axle under 36,000.
True.
We got to know our weights. I know that when I get loaded axle legal, both of my axles can't add over 68,000 pounds. If I'm at 35,000 on my rear and 34,000 on my front, that puts me at 69,000, and there's a good chance that I'm 81,000 pounds gross weight. This is important to know in case you get loaded at a pit with no scale. Now let's calibrate those gauges. Remember that this could be done empty or loaded. I would like to say it's better to do that loaded.
Right.
I will say that everyone should be recalibrating their gauges at least monthly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel from driving a lot, the gauges will soon give you a false reading. I know just by recalibrating, I am always either adding or reducing a couple of 1,000 pounds. Does that sound right? That they don't hold their calibration by a couple 1,000 pounds?
I mean, not to the best of my knowledge, Jim, unless an airbag was changed on the bag that airline connects to, because it just connects to the air system.
Sure.
We usually just tee into that bag or that axle of bags. So,
right.
I mean, I would have to ask, one of the guys that gauges every day, but I've heard they pretty well sit there religiously, within 100 pounds. And I don't know what would cause it to change.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe new tires on one axle versus the other, or
Sure.
I'm sure there's some hiccups that I'm certainly not aware of because I'm not running it every day. But
right.
The only other thing I can think of is, like I mentioned, the airbag, or you switched trailers.
Sure.
So,
Well, if you're reading them in a different location and your pitch of the truck and trailer is a little different, it's going to read different.
well, obviously,
sure.
yes.
So
yeah.
somebody might just say, "Oh, my
Yeah.
gauges aren't calibrated." Well, you're not sitting up at Wallstrom, you're sitting on a hill at Pit 21. So
Arcosa,
they're
right?
going to be different, right?
The ground isn't level.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like Armando knows that. So I'm just wondering
agree.
why his are thousands of pounds off often.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shouldn't be like that. They should pretty much hold. It's great to keep checking them,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't be off by thousands. They should be off by
Totally
100
agree
or
with that,
so.
with
So-
what you said, Jim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I would also, stress it's better to calibrate them loaded than empty.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any gauge is designed to read correctly at the point that it's trying to gauge. Those gauges are trying to gauge you when you're loaded, not when
Right.
you're empty.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, if you ever are concerned about it, I mean, we've talked about this many, many times. You can check at the pit. I mean, you can be at a time mid-morning, midday at the pit where there's not 1,000 trucks behind you. When you pull on, check your steer axle, you can stop for a second, tell the scale operator, "Hey, I'm just grabbing my axle weights right quick." Most of the places have a display. You have the little chart that we've given you how to do it. Pull your drives on, then subtract your steers from your drives. You know what's on the drives, then pull the whole thing on and subtract your steer and axle off of your gross, and that's what your trailer is. Or just look at your trailer when you're driving off. But, you still need to make those 3 stops and then compare it to your axle. I mean, it's that easy. Or we don't care either. When you get to yard 23, or even if you're over here and not at yard 23, buzz by 23, we have a loader there. And guess what? We have a scale there that we just had calibrated like a month ago because it's in our contract. We have it calibrated every year and checked. So it's plus or minus 1%. It'd be spot on. Go get a load of recycled asphalt out back, pull on the scale and check your gauges and adjust them. And that's all level ground. So you have ways. Here are the tips.
Yep.
Here are the tricks to help you do that.
To get your axle weight, you're always going to want to know what your front and rear gauge is. You want to announce yourself to the scale house that you're getting that axle weight. So I'm just going to walk it Barney style. So if you feel like I'm insulting your intelligence, I apologize.
I have to interrupt. That must be a military
Oh, no,
like thing.
Dave.
Or Barney style. I've never
That's
heard
kids.
Yeah.
That's kids, man. That's
Yeah.
Barney. Barney the dinosaur, right?
that. Oh,
Or Barney 5.
yeah.
Well, I guess. Could be.
Yep. So the two wheels in front of your truck is called your steer tires. The 8 wheels behind you, when you look out your window are called your drives. Then you have your trailer tires, the super singles at the end. All right, so what you got to do first is drive up slowly on the scale. You want to stop right before your front drive tires touch the scale. You want to wait until the weight on the scale stops. Then you write down your first weight or wait until the person inside the scale house reads it to you. Next, you continue to pull up and you want to stop right before your front super single tires touch the scale. So now only your steers and drive tires are on the scale and not your trailer tires. Repeat the same process by writing down your weight or waiting for the scale house to tell you the weight. And last, pull up completely on the scale. You don't need to write down your weight because it's going to show on your ticket. Once you receive a ticket, find a flat surface so that you can calibrate. So before you start calibrating, you got to do simple math. So you have 3 weights. One is your steer tires, second was your steer and drives, and third was your whole truck. To get your front axle weight, you have to subtract your weight you got from the steer only to your steer and drives. That's going to give you the difference, and that is going to be your front axle weight. Next, you're going to subtract your steer and drive weight from your gross weight. The answer to this is going to give you your rear axle weights. Now to set them on your gauge, press and hold the little white button that says pound PSI. Press and hold it until you see what looks like a letter J on the type right corner. If you press the left white button, the number will go down. The right button makes the number go up. Once you set them on the correct weight, all you got to do is stop it and wait until the letter J disappears and now your gauge is calibrated. Do the same thing on the other and now both your gauges are calibrated to the correct weight. One thing I do is round up. If I have an axle weight that is 34.760, I will not set my gauge at 34.7. Instead, I will set it to 34.8. And please make sure you're right on the right section. If you look closely on your gauges, you can see there's a section that says times 1,000 pounds and the other says PSI. You have to be on the one that says time 1,000 pounds or else you're going to get a false axle weight. Please let me know on ConnectTeam what you think about this week's tips and tricks. And thank you all again for listening and the positive feedback. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next week, I'm Mondo the Sergeant Del Val, 0073. Together we can be better.
He taught me something. I didn't know you could just hold the one button.
Yeah, I thought it was both.
I always thought you had to hold both.
Right.
So that's awesome. Did not know that.
Either did I. Nice job, Armando.
I'm doing it by default, I guess, or by accident and making it work. So, yeah. And that is an important, we don't talk enough about that. Seeing the difference in air pounds versus actual axle weight where it says times 1,000.
Right.
A lot of people might have that on the air pound setting, not even know it.
Right.
Not even know it.
That's how we used to roll. As all you had was a PSI gauge.
Right.
And then you had to kind of guess. Well, I know if I'm 60 PSI, I'm heavy.
Don't be over 60, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you were pushing 60, you're like, damn, I'm under.
Right. Yeah. What do you think, Soup? You want to hit us with that high road hauling?
All righty. We'll do it.
All right.
So there's a lot of newfangled words out there that are more towards the newer generation, I guess. But have you ever heard of the term emotional intelligence?
Yes.
Yep.
Emotional IQ.
Yep.
Just side note, Dave, Merriam-Webster's dictionary added 17 new words this year.
Yeah, I need
That's
to check
skibbity.
that out. I bet you I
That's skibbity.
don't know what any of them are.
They actually added a word, Dave, for what it smells like when the rain is coming down. And I can't remember the word, but
I need to know that word.
You know
looked it
that
up
smell?
before.
It's supposed to be ozone that you're smelling. I read
Well, it
that.
smells really good, Dave.
It does.
I'm
doesn't
glad
it?
our ozone is exactly where it needs to be because it
Yep.
smells great.
It sure does.
We've
It sure
saved it.
does. So this High Road Holland is specifically about emotional intelligence. I recently was confronted by a person who was in a situation that was not ideal for them. The circumstances were self-made, and the outcome was not in that person's favor. What we must see is that the outcome of that person disagreed with was entirely of their own making. They couldn't understand why decisions that were made outside of their control didn't go their way. Because of this, he came uncorked. He blamed the current circumstance he was in on others who really had no part in his decisions. Those were his and his alone. He demonstrated not only poor anger management, but most importantly, very poor emotional intelligence. Now, you're asking yourself, what the heck is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, or EI, is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of people around you. There are 5 key elements to EI: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. People with high EI can identify how they're feeling and what those feelings mean, and how those feelings impact their behavior and, in turn, other people. It's a little harder to manage the emotions of other people. You can't control how someone else feels or behaves. But if you can identify the emotions behind their behavior, you'll have a better understanding of where they're coming from and how to best interact with them. High EI overlaps with strong interpersonal skills, especially in the areas of conflict management and communication. Crucial skills to help you manage almost any situation. People who can self-regulate their emotions are often able to avoid making impulsive decisions. They think objectively before they act. And operating with empathy and understanding is a critical part of teamwork. Being able to attribute someone's behavior to an underlying emotion will help you manage relationships and make others feel heard. On an individual level, being aware of your feelings is the first step in not letting those feelings control you. Recognizing how you feel and why will help you sit with those feelings and then move forward in a productive way. Fortunately, you can improve your EI skills with thoughtfulness and practice. First of all, try to slow down your reactions to emotions. Next time you feel angry, try to sit with it before lashing out. Why are you angry? Did someone upset you? What do you think was the emotion underneath their behavior? And next, think about your strengths and weaknesses. No one is good at everything, and that's okay. Know yourself and when to ask for or offer some help. And put the effort to understand what people are communicating non-verbally. If you ask someone to help you on a project and they agree but sound hesitant, recognize that they may feel overwhelmed or confused, or they may come from a different background, and they may come from a different background and understanding than your own. It's important to validate and address that before moving forward. Also, work on communicating effectively and openly. Make sure your main point is clear. Cut out information that isn't relative to the person you're talking with, and give your full attention when someone else is speaking. And when I was reading this article, you guys, all I thought of was the Navajo stick. That's such an important thing to remember.
That is. Yep.
This ability to express and control is essential, but so is the ability to understand, interpret, and respond to the emotions of others. Some experts suggest that emotional intelligence is more important than IQ for success in life. And IQ, everybody should know that's the measure of someone's actual intelligence. But anyway, emotional intelligence is super important for creating relationships and navigating adversities that you might come to encounter throughout your life. The quote this week: while being book smart might help you pass tests, emotional intelligence prepares you for the real world by being aware of the feelings of others as well as your own. And that was spoken by Hannah Owens. She's a mental health professional who is also an editor of Very Well Mind. And Very Well Mind is a web page that gives advice for mental health and life hacks and things of that nature. So it's a popular website. I've been on that a lot looking for ideas for the high road hauling. So
Nice.
there you have it. EQ is very important.
Like it.
Or EI.
I was going to say EI,
Yeah.
right?
EI,
Dave?
not
Yeah.
IQ.
EIQ.
Yeah. So anyway, there you have it. Emotional intelligence. It's important stuff.
It is very important.
Think about that before you blow a cork when things aren't going your own way.
Tracy.
Or when it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like some people get so upset.
Mhm.
Tracy demonstrated some very high
Yes.
emotional intelligence yesterday.
Yes.
EI. Yep.
The guy he was talking to had very low emotional intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Final thoughts, guys?
You know, Jim usually bats cleanup really well on final thoughts. He does just such a great job. I'd love to find out where he comes up with the stuff. It's
Did
just,
he leave?
He did. He had a phone call. He had a conference call
At 9?
at 9 that he had to
Gotcha.
step out for Jam. So I printed a few things. They're probably not going to be nearly as impactful as a lot of the ones Jim comes up with, but a little few comments on finding hope and opportunity. And I just thought they were great, you know, and they're just a couple quotes, and it says, you know, sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together.
I love that.
And I just love that. And believe it or not, that's a Marilyn Monroe quote.
Really?
Which, you know, she may have had a little higher emotional intelligence than she was given credit for, just because of,
She was
you know,
always
people
high.
probably looked at her and like, oh, you're a dumb blonde, or, you know what I mean? Because that was the era.
Well, and those were the parts she played.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and then just a couple more says, keep your face always towards the sunshine and the shadows will fall behind you.
Yeah.
That was a Walt Whitman quote. I know the name, but I don't know what from. And then this is an unknown quote, but life is a series of beginnings, not endings. Right? So I thought that was great. And then looking to the future. So for now, I say goodbye to this chapter of my life, and I look forward to what comes next. Everywhere, farewell is a sunset that always awaits the sunrise, which, I mean, you know, look into the future. I don't like false happy endings. I don't think the real world is such a forgiving place. And that was John Irvin. So anyway, yeah,
Good thoughts.
sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. So when you think you're having a tough patch in your life, it might be for the better. You know what I mean? You could be going through something rough and not even realize it. And in the end, it, you know, and it might not be the next day. It may take a while to get there. It's for a good reason. And it winds up, you're in a better place eventually.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the warrior in the arena also, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, that guy's out there and he's getting his ass kicked, but he's the one out there.
Yep.
So there you have it.
Soup, you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good. You know, I think all of those quotes really play a part. It's just really hard to stop and think of these things in the moment.
Yes.
You know, you get consumed by those emotions or the actions of others that are happening right in front of you. But man, step back and think of all those things, because they'll make a difference in your happiness and what your self-esteem is.
Sure.
And all of that. So help hold you together.
Absolutely. I want to talk about, so this past weekend I had mentioned it. I went out with this group called SYC Colorado, which is a Special Youth Challenge of Colorado. They're kind of nationwide, but the states aren't really in communion with each other. You know, they all do their own things. But anyway, last year I was invited to go do this, and I was honored to do it again this year. And I was able to be a hunting guide, so to speak, for one of the hunters. Now, all these kids are special youth challenged, meaning they're young and they have challenges. A lot of them have muscular dystrophy in some shape or form. There's like 30 variations of muscular dystrophy. Duchenne's is one that I learned about last year, which a lot of these kids have, where, you know, they start off normal, then they end up in a wheelchair that they could operate on their own. But eventually they need one that's powered by hand. And then if they make it long enough, they get the one they use with their mouth.
Yeah, this is like
basically.
straw or
That's,
whatever.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a tough disease, boy.
It is a tough disease. But these kids, they don't complain.
Hmm.
They don't complain one bit on these trips. And it just amazes me. Like, here's a kid that is destined to die and is destined to be in a wheelchair and has a tough life, tougher than any one of us that work at JFW has.
Yeah.
I never heard in 2 years one of these kids complain about this situation. So when I hear you complaining about you don't want to go do this or go do that, or you're giving dispatch a hard time, it's really hard for me to swallow, because we're all so blessed to be able to come to work every day,
Yep.
or, not have this disease, or maybe somebody in your family does, or a different disease and you're the caregiver, and that's rough. But man, for these kids not to complain, we could all take a page out of their book and just really look at your circumstance and wonder if it's worth complaining about.
Absolutely not.
Use your emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you have a complaint, there's a way to complain about things, intelligently, and a way not to. Getting on the radio and say something foul to dispatch or just in general, that's not the way to do it. Come to leadership, talk to us. We'll hear you out. We problem solve all day long with people, and we're happy to do that. That's our job, is to support you and make this a better place to work. Come talk to us like adults. That's my final thought.
That's great, Jim.
Yep. Absolutely.
Again, perspective, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And the perspective you gain from being around things like that,
Yeah.
we've told stories on here about perspective before. And
Yep.
that's just really good. Yeah.
Yep.
And it is hard to work on that emotional intelligence. Not everyone has that quality. It's something that needs worked on. I'm so guilty of letting my emotions get the better of me.
We've all been there.
That's good stuff.
We've all been there.
Good stuff.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Channel 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Tell all your friends about us. We are worth listening to.
Absolutely.
Let's say the creed and get on out.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us. Together we are accident free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. And together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you all. Have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a safe week, everybody.
See you next week.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.